Good evening and welcome to the Nevis Newscast for today, Wednesday, June 22nd, 2016. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. The Ministries of Education and Social Development on Saturday, June 18th, held a graduation ceremony to recognize 52 persons who recently completed the University of the West Indies UWI Supervisory Management course. Funded by the government, the course was facilitated by UWI lecturer Perlivan Wilkin.
Graduates, by completing this course, you have been provided with a framework for further developing the knowledge and skills which are necessary to perform management and leadership functions in your organization. You have been introduced to and are fully aware of the various principles and practices, techniques, which would ensure the effective management of your departments and organization in a very practical way. You now understand the internal and external environmental factors which could influence management decisions in your organization. You can now involve yourselves in critical management thinking and an analytical approach to the management process. You have to start thinking now. As new leaders, you have learned how to challenge yourselves and your subordinates in order to improve your individual performances and, by extension, the output of your departments and your organizations. You must see it registered in your ministries and departments.
According to Wilkin, the most outstanding student from the Ministry of Social Development was Kim Singh, Deputy Director of the Department of Social Services.
For the latter part of last year, we were engaged in a 10-week supervisory management program with Mr. Perlivan Wilkin. Let me pause to say thank you, sir, for sharing your time and knowledge about something that is obviously passionate to you. We never thought that we would have learned so much in such a short time. Our instructor made it his business to touch on just about everything that he thought would make us better supervisors and managers. Amongst all that we learned, there was a clear and radical message orienting us to a high standard, no matter our calling. In other words, we were advised to go and do our best work. When we concluded the program, I believe that most, if not all of us, knew where we had to go and what we should do.
The top student from the Ministry of Education was Latoya Jeffers, principal of the Charlestown Primary School.
Thanks must be given to Mrs. Palsy Wilkin for having the inspiration to expose us to such an adventure. Mr. Perlivan Wilkin, thank you for being a superstar. It was never all work. We had an opportunity to listen to your many stories. And they not only gave us a break from the main storyline, but also left us with valuable lessons. You gave of your time willingly and unselfishly, and for that we will forever be grateful. Where do we go from here? We, the main characters of this story, have been equipped with the skills and knowledge to not be only ordinary leaders, but great leaders. Now it is our time to be the authors and write the pages of our own books. We have to make a difference and pass on what we have learned, not only with our words, but our actions. So where do we go? We go forward, leading boldly and uprightly.
The graduates were awarded certificates which were distributed by Premier and Minister of Education, the Honorable Vance Emery, and Junior Minister of Social Development, the Honorable Hazel Brandy Williams. Singh and Jeffers, along with Community Development Officer Malva Rollins, teacher at the VOJN Primary School, Municia Clark, and Assistant Supervisor at the Charlestown Preschool, Lisa Lee, also received special awards. More than 40 persons began the Department of Education's Prospective Teachers course on Monday with the hope of joining the profession for the 2016-2017 school year. Here is more in this report.
United for Quality Education through Passion, Vision and Action for a Better Society is the theme for this year's Prospective Teachers course, which is taking place at the Department of Education's conference room at Penny's Industrial Site. The goal of the training course is to prepare participants for possible placement through the presentation of an exciting workshop which would foster a love for teaching. At the opening ceremony, Principal Education Officer Palsy Wilkin reminded the participants that teaching is the profession that makes all other professions possible.
Teaching, therefore, is a very serious job, one which should not be taken lightly. It lays the foundation for good citizenship and full participation in community life. It molds the skills of our future workforce. It shapes our nation's future.
Wilkins stated that following the course, the participants will continue training at different schools on the island. Premier and Minister of Education, the Honorable Vance Emery, noted that a teacher's job is never ending.
How to assert your authority, how to grasp that when you have been selected to be a teacher, that you have certain authority. How do you manage that authority? How do you utilize that authority in the classroom, on the playing field, in the community? Because once you have taken the oath, the decision, been employed to perform the duties as a teacher, your job does not begin at 8:30 in the morning and end at 3:30 in the afternoon. You're a teacher 24 hours in the day, 7 days a week, 12 months in the year.
Premier Emery then declared the training course officially opened. The objectives of the course are to understand the structure and role of the education system, interact with the rudiments of learning and teaching, employ and develop communication skills in writing, speaking and work presentation, and give a panoramic view of some of the theories and practices in education. The course is expected to run for 10 days with various exercises and lectures from teachers and education officers who will teach the participants the various skills and techniques. Coordinating the course is Coordinator of Adult and Continuing Education, Adina Taylor. I'm Fredicia Library reporting for the Nevis Newscast.
Thanks, Fredicia. Still to come, Ministry of Tourism pledges continued support to Nevis Blues Festival. The details after this break.
Celebrating the old, showcasing the new. Culturama 42.
Welcome back. Having Charlestown listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site would bear untold benefits for Nevis. Those were remarks made by Premier the Honourable Vance Emery on Monday, June 20th, when he received a courtesy call from St. Kitts and Nevis's permanent representative to the OAS, His Excellency Dr. Everson Hull. Ambassador Hull is working to have Charlestown placed on the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites.
My real interest in this was actually sparked in April of this year when I participated in Diplomatic Week in Bastille. There I had the opportunity of meeting Dr. David Doyle. He's actually our St. Kitts Nevis ambassador to UNESCO, and he brought to my attention the fact that Charlestown, what is referred to as the city of Charlestown, was actually on the tentative list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And he was very enthusiastic about reactivating that proposal. So he encouraged me to try to see if I could do whatever I could to motivate interest in this. Of course, I got real excited about this, did a lot of research on it, and began to contact a number of stakeholders, persons who I thought would be very much interested in helping to promote this. Without exception, virtually all of the key persons that I communicated with, were very much interested in going forward with this.
Bath Hotel, Jews Cemetery, Hamilton House, the Slave Market and Fort Charles are some of the sites which could be part of a heritage collection that is submitted to UNESCO. In light of this, the ambassador has invited curator Christian Goodwillie of Hamilton College in New York to assist with the demonstration of the authenticity of the documents at the island's museums.
What he's doing currently with respect to the archives here, with respect to bringing in his digital equipment in terms of documenting the archives, is not only important to preserving those documents in case there's a fire or anything like that, but it provides some of the background that is essential for this bid for Nevis to move forward with being inscribed as a World Heritage Site. So that's the part of the reason he's here. He's hopefully going to come back in January to bring a number of students with him who will actually sit down in the museum and actually go through the archives and work with them.
Premier Emery thanked Ambassador Hull for creating the energy around the project.
One of the things which we have been discussing is having heritage tourism play an important role in our economic development. And if we were able, with your help, Dr. Hull, and through Hamilton College, through you, Mr. Goodwillie, to get Charlestown listed by UNESCO as a World Heritage City, I think we would have won a good battle, which would pay long-term dividends for us. I think all of us here are aware that Nevis is rich in history. We have dotted around Nevis some very important historical sites. We have other people, like I said, Daphne Hobson and Evelyn Henville, and some other broad-based people who will be involved. I think Mr. Daniel will be coordinating that effort with the Historical Society.
The Nevis Island Administration, through its Ministry of Tourism, will continue to wholeheartedly support the Nevis Blues Festival with the hope that it will grow to become the premier festival in the Caribbean. Deputy Premier and Minister of Tourism, the Honourable Mark Brantley, gave that assurance yesterday when he, along with Permanent Secretary Carl Williams, spoke to producer of the festival, Richard Pavitt, who is on island for the post-mortem of the festival's 2016 edition.
We are starting very early to promote the third edition of this very unique niche festival, festival that we feel adds tremendous value to what Nevis offers as a premier upscale tourism destination. And so, Mr. Pavitt, I want to thank you. I believe that the last two events have been wildly successful in terms of what we anticipated. I think they exceeded expectations. I think for the public who went to the event, they would have had a wonderful time, a new type of music being made available to us, to our consuming public. And I am particularly pleased that it happens in April, which is a sort of hump month. And so people who come in during that period, we are trying, of course, to get heads in beds and bums in seats, as they say, and get people here for the festival.
Pavitt used the opportunity to announce that planning is underway for the 2017 Nevis Blues Festival.
April 7 and 8 are the dates, and yes, for the past 2 years we've done 3 nights, but what we found this latest year was that the Thursday is weak on attendance. And what we then end up doing is trying to stretch our artist base and our resources across 3 nights. Friday and Saturday were fantastically successful this year, so we want to concentrate all our resources on those 2 nights. It allows us to, I won't say upscale, but be more ambitious in terms of our artist programming in those 2 nights and make it even better than it was this year. This year was a phenomenal success in my mind. It proved concept. It excited a lot of people. It provided a festival where people were feeling very comfortable. The major feedback we got was that this was a relaxed, comfortable festival. Nobody felt at all hemmed in or threatened or intimidated. Very relaxed, very friendly. I think we're happy. Good.
Williams also commended Pavitt and his team of organizers.
It's probably one of the only festivals that is held on the beach, which makes it very unique. We are happy that the date is announced because this will tie in nicely with our tourism month of activities, as was done this year. As everyone knows, we had a very successful month of activities, and so we can now plan around the Blues Festival to incorporate it even more in our tourism month of activities. So once again, Mr. Bavitt, congratulations.
The 2017 Nevis Blues Festival will offer a 2-night program of international artists with the best of blues, soul, funk and blues rock right on the beach at Wally. The Nevis Blues Festival is listed among the best music festivals in the Caribbean as selected by USA Today and Fest 300, the world's top 300 music and cultural festivals. That's it for tonight's edition of the Nevis Newscast. I am Bronte Swanston Hendrickson. Thank you for viewing. Good night.